I became lost after my late father passed away, right? I think it has been a complex relationship as the oldest son, right? You want to be proven that you're better than him, and now without him, it's like no validation. So that measurement is gone. He is the only one I can really feel like I can talk to without judgment, right? And it's tough without him around, and you starting to realize that a thing will not be the same anymore.
One of the topic that mentioned so much during the last year was soft power.
I think our definition of soft power is very limited in Thailand. We missed that opportunity to stake our claim in the soft power world. We missed that opportunity with what happened in politics. We can say to Myanmar that we are a democratic country. We hope you follow the same path. Now we can't really say that, right? That ability to bring about change, to make sure other people respect us is missed. I think that is what I'm really sad about soft power.
We talk a lot, but it's going to be the first time we communicate in English fully. So it's going to be fun and new for me.
Yeah.
First of all, people have heard about your names, but I would love you to introduce yourself from your own version. Who is Fuadi Piswan?
I am Fuadi Pitsuwan. Currently, I am a visiting fellow at School of Public Policy in Chiang Mai. And also run a foundation called Surin Pisuwan Foundation, and also work in coffee with coffee farmers, trying to improve the quality and export Thai coffee. So different hats that I wear, and have a lot of friends. Another hat is have a lot of friends in politics, so trying to help when someone needs help. Yeah.
You've been to Harvard and Oxford. That's quite something, right? I mean, for most people, if you graduate from one of these two, it's quite a high caliber that you are in. But you've been to both universities. How did that happen?
I have to recognize that I am very privileged, right? The mindset of my parents, the social status of my parents enable me to get to those places at a relative ease compared to someone who may be from Pak Nam Po, for example, right? I think we have to recognize that first. But with all the opportunities that are given to me, I try to maximize the most, and people only see successes. People only see Harvard, only see Oxford, but I have been rejected by 18 schools before I get to these places, right? I mean, for 18 schools only for PhD. I applied to 20 schools, got waitlisted in 2. And got into 2 schools, and one of them that I got in was Oxford. Yeah. And along the way, I also have to recognize that there are people who have believed in me, who helped me get to where I am. That we can be proud of ourselves, but at the end of the day, no matter which level or your achievement, someone helped you along the way. How did you get here? Because at some point, Kun Surisayun believe in you, right? Open the door, and there are many other people along the way. And I think that gratitude is very important. There's a book in the US by Professor Michael Sandel, talks about tyranny of merit, right? Which basically the thesis is that, these days people tend to be so hungry for success and tend to forget that we assume that we get to where we are because 100% of our own doing. We forgot that there are many people who help us along the way, right? Recognizing that we get to where we are not 100% because our own doing. You have to pay it forward. You have to open doors to other people, which you have done the same. I try to do the same.
But going back to Fuadi, when he was 14 or 15 years old, of course, you mentioned that there are some helps and there are some privilege, but you need to be disciplined and you need to have your own ambition as well. Talk me through that. How hard did you study? How do you plan yourself? Did you know back then that you're going to be graduating from Harvard and Oxford back then?
No, but there is certainly a goal. And in hindsight, I'm not sure if it was a goal that is worth pursuing, right? Because there was a lot of social and familial pressure, because the fact that I am a son of the oldest son of politicians who are well respected, who have graduated from Harvard. So deep down inside, people, I grew up, people telling me that, hey, you have to grow up and be like your father. Right? Pressure from parents are not that much actually. Dad never really care as long as I try my best and whatever I get to is fine. He always said that try your best and whatever the result is fine. But it's a social expectation. Growing up, seeing dad in the news, I think that put a lot of pressure. And I think it's a double-edged sword. It shaped me to who I am today, pushed me hard. I study really hard, practice a lot. But in hindsight, I became lost after my late father passed away, right? Because I seek that I have always sought that stamp approval from my late father because he's such a big figure. So it's been a big dilemma, right? I mean, a lot of opportunities came my way. I try my best to do what I can. I did well in school. I got into the best school possible, but it came at because of a lot of pressure. So sometimes I don't really know that was the right path or not. Right? And then now without him, that validation is not there anymore. So for at least for 5-6 years since he passed, I have been quite lost for a while. And then now I think just a few years ago that I really felt that I can be myself and able to move on. Right? I think create my own portfolio, my own way of thinking.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you about this is gonna become a bit more personal, but talk to me when you found out about the news. Was it sudden or was it something that you were planning? Were you?
No, it was extremely sudden, right? I was in the UK, right? Woke up and then got the text. At that point, when I got the call, he hasn't passed yet. But then I was told to pack my bag and come back home. So it was sudden. It was so sudden that it was numb. I didn't know what to expect. And then I didn't cry at all for the first week because it was everything. And you get reminded all the time when you see it in the media that, oh, he passed away. So try to not see any news, anything. So it was tough. But I saw my mom and my grandmother, they're very strong. And what I realized also is that young people, we tend to forget that เครื่องยึดเหนี่ยวจิตใจ is really important. Like something to hold on to, something to rationalize about the losses. Right? And then mom and grandmother are very pious, very religious, so they are able to rationalize, able to explain. But young, liberal, progressive, went to school in the US and the UK. I question a lot, and then I struggle with this rationalization. And like I say, it's only a few years ago that I come to terms with this loss and able to move on.
At what point did it hit you though? Because you mentioned that the first week, I know you must be very busy doing things, probably just more of the reasoning side than the feeling side. But at what point did it hit you that this is something to be think about?
I think 2 weeks in. I think when everything calmed down, when every news are starting to die down, and home getting quiet, I think that's when it hit you that the picture of your family, mom, dad, my 2 younger brothers, in bed together at night talking. That's the past. You cannot get to that level of happiness of that familial relationship anymore because it's not there. I think that's when it hit you that it hurts and you starting to realize that a thing will not be the same anymore. Right? You're on your own now. Because I think also when I lost him, it was at the point where I'm starting to become myself as well, right? It's like just cut and then now you're on your own. So it's like, wow, very scary. Because in the past, a lot of things that I have done in the past, I did it with him. A lot of, he called on me a lot on advice, on political advice, on ideas, on philosophical thinking. And he is the only one I can really feel like I can talk to without judgment, right? A really difficult topic about the country, about philosophy, about religion. And it's tough without him around. No one, you can say anything to and you won't be judged. I think it has been a complex relationship as the oldest son, right? You want to be proven that you're better than him. Your society wants you to be like him. And you yourself grow up thinking that how do I beat him? How do I be better than him? How I contribute more to the society than him? How do I create my own portfolio? So it's about chasing that, right? And now without him, it's like no validation, like that thing that you chase for someone to say, hey, I'm most proud when he say or when he think I'm smarter than him. And there are moments like that, right? And then that will not happen anymore. So that measurement is gone. That ruler that bar that I peg myself is gone. So yeah, it's been tough when you realize that is gone, then you are lost.
Okay, two questions about coping. The first thing would be coping with loss. Yeah, how did you cope with loss? What are some lessons that looking back there was some thought that made you see the other side of the loss. This is for the future, maybe just for myself in the future when I'm like maybe losing my father or my mother or the audience that many people they may have lost the person that they love.
I think you have to rationalize it that it is a natural process of human being. Dad liked to say, this is, I mean, obviously before he passed, he said that, when we die, we either become all-knowing or we don't know anything at all. Both ending are beautiful. It doesn't matter whether you die and you become all-powerful, you know everything, you can read someone's mind, you can know every secret in the world, or you just gone. Either case, that is beautiful. I think that's the beauty of death. I think you don't know what's going on, but in either case, it will be okay. In any case, it will be wonderful.
Another thing that I think you have done very well. I'm not sure is it because your family or yourself, but I've talked to a lot of sons and daughters of big politicians and billionaires. What I see is that many of them they were born with the fact that their parents accomplished so much, so they want to compete, they want to be as good as they are, but I mean like realistically it's impossible that you're going to be as accomplished when you are 15 comparing to your father when he is 45. You know what I mean? A lot of people are just keep chasing the shadow and become like extremely exhausting. Many of them become like mentally unhealthy.
I understand that very well.
Yeah. How did you cope with that, and what were some of the words that your father? Because from I don't know you 100%, but I see you were growing in a quite a healthy fashion.
I think relatively to other people may be more healthy, but like I said, there are deep down inside. I think everyone. You have interviewed a few of them in this show. I think we talk, and they do have that pressure, but they create their own path. I am creating my own path now. Right? I mean, some people will know me as a coffee entrepreneur. Right? So that is a portfolio that I create for myself. That was not involved. I'm not known as Surin Pisuwan's son in that arena. I'm known as Fordy Pisuwan, right? In the political realms, I'm still known as that, and I don't think I can run away. But at least I have I try to make my ideas, my political thinking very clear, and then over the years shape up a bit, change. I'm not sure if it changed, but it become clearer, right? What I believe, and I think you're seeing that in a lot of things that I said in past interviews I have given to today, in other interviews, it's become very clear what I think, and the political alignment of myself also shifted as well, right? I mean, I don't want to say shifted. I say I feel like I'm very consistent with what I believe, but the scenario, the atmosphere shifted, right? And I identify with a group that people may be surprised that I ally with, but they totally believe in the same thing that I do. So yeah, I mean, trying to be very clear that what I want, and that's how I cope with it. Create something that is totally myself, right? Be very clear about what I believe. I think those are the two things I try to do.
Okay. You get to study in both the UK and the US. What are some difference that you see?
I compare them this way. Oxford is like a buffet. Harvard is like a full course meal, a top gene in Thai. By that I mean in Oxford all the knowledge are there. It's like a buffet line, right? But if you sit and you don't go up and get it, no one will feed you. But Harvard, it's like you sit and then all the food are thrown at you and then you have to take out what you don't want to eat. That's the difference, right? That's the analogy. Because Oxford doesn't even know it's tutorial based. There's not even a course number like 101, like 101 politics 101. It doesn't really exist. It's just a name. And then sometime professor will be in this college, will be some that room, and it's really difficult to maneuver. But the best are there, right? The best are there, and all the knowledge are there. The training are there, but you have to find it. I think at Harvard, I think it's more structured. Right? It's there. You know exactly what it is. It's forced. There's a course that you have to take. For a PhD, in the U.S. system in general, they strip you down and rebuild you again. So everyone have the same foundation. I think in the UK, you are expected to have certain level of independence, of going out there to train yourself, to find that knowledge. Like I feel like I learned when I was at Oxford. I'm trained best when I find my own knowledge and train myself. It's like they throw you and they expect you into the pond, and they expect you to already be able to swim. Right? You have to train yourself. But I think they help you train to be able to swim. I think that's a big difference.
When you mention Kennedy School, it's Kennedy School of Government. And when I heard about the school, I was like, this is very romantic. It's like there are such things like the School of Government. But I want to ask you was that I think it's something that Pita faced the question to, do they actually teach you to do like self PR, to do polls by yourself, to understand the campaign in the courses?
They do. I mean, I think students have the ability to choose the classes, right? There are those skills that are softer. Like there's a class called Making of a Politicians by a certain professor. But then there are also classes on like econometrics. There are classes on hardcore foreign policy thinking. There are the best scholars on these topics. Right? You can pick and choose what you will learn during those 2 years.
A lot of younger generation have the problem is that they were educated, but once they came back to Thailand, Thai politics, it's like, wow, that's far from what we learn. How do you compromise with that?
I think that's the more reason why they should be engaged, right? I think if they see something wrong and then find a way to engage, find a way to do more. I think there are many roles in politics. I think too many people may seek spotlight. Right? There are roles that you can play behind the scene, but are helping politicians or political parties that they believe in. Right? I mean, I think it's okay, and many people around here that we see contribute in one way or the other. Right? Yeah. With the media is really important. This is contributing to betterment of Thai well-being, Thai politics already. Many of you, the things that you have done. News that have been covered, the questioning, the inquiry, the questioning of authority is important, and that is the role of the media. In political science, right? Well, they say different estates. There are 3 main estates: judiciary branch, executive, and legislative branch. 3, Sabha, right? Legislative, and then San, judiciary, and then ฝ่ายบริหาร executive branch. But then people don't talk a lot about the 4th estate. 4th estate is the media. Media are the one keeping the other 3 in check, right? The ability to question, the ability to investigate, the ability to interview, ask really tough questions to those people who are in the spotlight, who are in the public sphere, who are getting paid by our tax. That's really important. That is contributing to politics. Right? It doesn't have to be front end politics, right? That's what I mean. Yeah.
I want to hear from your perspective. Since you get to be close to top politicians, there are 3 politicians I want you to talk about.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me what is the best attribute that they have that make them great. The first one is your father, Dr. Surin Pisuwan. Second one is Aitim. He's younger by age than us, but he's like one of the best out there. And Pitha Lim Chalanat. Pick any of these three and go.
Wow, thinking about this, I'm super privileged to actually know all these three quite well relative to each other. I think my late father, his best quality would be his ability to make everyone feel like they can access him and can be listened to. I think that philosophy is that if anyone wants to say something, they should be able to say it, and there will be someone who listens. Doesn't matter what they believe, even if you disagree. It's that ability to listen to their pain, to their issue, and maybe carry it forward, tell it to someone who has the ability to help, to change, to make everyone feel belong in Southeast Asia, in Asia, in Thailand, in a small community. That range of people who can identify with him is really large, right? He came from a southern Thailand, Pondok is an Islamic religious school, right? Family, but went all the way to study in the US, and then the people he meet, the range of people he can talk to is really big. And even after all this, right, he also warned everyone to be to have intellectual humility. He used the term in Thai, Thom Ton Thang Panya. Even if you're trained the best, be careful because you could also be wrong. So you always remain humble. For Pitim, for Pitha, I think his ability to digest really difficult materials, because I only help him on very small topic of the stuff that he has to manage, right? On foreign policy. And I still maintain that I help informally, right? As an underclassman, he graduated 2011 from Kennedy School. I graduated 2013, but I do talk to him, and the topic that I talk to him is very limited on foreign policy, foreign affairs, but he has to talk about health, he has to talk about local governance, so the range that he has to manage is really big. And as a prime ministerial candidate, right? My late father is still quite limited, still foreign affairs, right? But then his ability to read what a PhD scholar in international relation write for him, and for him to say it to other people, right? It's quite remarkable. I think that is his biggest strength, the ability to digest really difficult topic, not just from me, from other ajahn, other PhD that sent points to him to read and then to understand, to really digest, to internalize the issue, and able to push the button, able to deliver it. I think that is impressive about him. I think. For Parit, for Aitim was a King Scholar at Eton and was a number one at PPE in Oxford. By that standards, by certain measurement, you can say that of his generation, he is the smartest in the world. I think that says a lot.
Not the country, but
Not
the
the
world.
country, but the world. But the fact that people who are trained similarly to him, right, say this with respect, I think that says a lot, right? I mean, I think that Aitim would be the type of person that if there's a test, he would get 100 out of 100. Other people, or the best student, maybe get 90 out of 100, right? Already really good. But I think maybe someone who don't know where that intellectual capability ends. But having said all that, right, all these politicians, younger politicians, my late fathers, they do struggle too. And I mean, when you get to know them, the conversation on a personal basis, I mean, we talk about different things, and everyone have issues, everyone explore, no one is settled in a lot of ways, right? But they do have certain strength that make them who they are. So my point is, everyone struggle, everyone operate, may have a strategic plan about their life or what they think, but on a day-to-day basis, they also have to think. So I think for younger people, my point is that it's okay. It's okay to keep thinking, to keep exploring.
All these people, you see them from the outsider, you see them strong and smart and very capable. But what you are saying is that at the end of the day, they're gonna
humans.
find. Yeah.
They are people. They have emotions. They suffer. They are happy, like all of us, right? So I think it's okay to. I think for the young people listening to the show, my point is that it's okay to not be what you call alpha all the time. Right? And it's okay.
Not like super productive. You don't tick all the boxes of to-do lists, and you don't achieve 30 before 30
Yeah,
Forbes list.
it's okay.
Really okay.
And when I talk to Tim, right, he usually say like, I sleep well today. If someone asks like, how you today? He just normally say he feels great. I slept a lot. So it doesn't mean that you, in order to achieve something, you must pull an all-nighter all the time. Right? I suffer from that too. I mean, I usually work better at night, but I learn a lot from Tim about ability to divide time for family, for his daughter. It's very clear. This is the day for my daughter, right? And then sometimes he wouldn't check the phone, for example. So that is something good about him, and I learned a lot from that.
We mentioned about politicians. I want to talk about the country. As someone who've been around the world, talked to so many people in the world, how do you see Thailand and its potential?
I would limit my comment to what I feel I have been trained and experienced in, which is foreign policy, right? Which is foreign affairs. I feel we can do a lot more. I feel that there is a stark contrast between how young people see Thailand fit in the world and how older generations, how the conservative see us as fitting in the world, right? Prime Minister Sethar have said many times that Thailand is a small country. We, on the other hand, think Thailand is actually a middle power. Thailand can do more. Thailand can play a role that is contributing to the world order, to the stability, right? In foreign policy, there is this term that you may have heard called bamboo diplomacy. So basically, bamboo is very flexible, right? When the wind comes, it bends, so it doesn't break. But for us, right, when the wind comes, we think, why don't we build a windmill to harness from that energy to turn it into something that is beneficial for Thailand? I think that logic is very different. I think Thailand can build a windmill. Thailand can benefit, can help shape this geopolitical tensions, or if not shape, then at least benefit from it somehow, right? I think that is what I hope to see Thailand can do more in the region, in Asia, in the world. And then some of the issue we can take the lead. Issue like transnational crime, like the scam centers, right? The gang call center. This issue, for example, we can take the lead. We don't have to be a middle power. We can be the leader in this, right? Major power in trying to help everyone solve this issue. On other issues, we can be a middle power trying to harness, benefit, or help shape the tension so that it doesn't become another World War III, for example. Yeah.
One of the topic that mentioned so much during the last year was soft power, and taking the granted as a student of Joseph now. Tell me more about it from the start.
I think our definition of soft power is very limited in Thailand. Right? I mean, it's very materialistic. It's very product focused, which is a component of soft power. But the idea of soft power is much grander, much bigger than that, right? Like we actually need a real agenda, right? Soft power is defined as the ability to get the outcome you want without resorting to force. I'm not sure what a movie will actually do, or will it make other people respect Thailand more? I'm not sure of that, right? We missed that opportunity to stake our claim in the soft power world, the soft power metric, when the political realignment, when Thai people actually have spoken, we are back, we have cast votes in the election, but we missed that opportunity, I think, with what happened in politics. Because with the democratic credibility, with the progressive credibility, country will respect us. That Thai people have stood up for themselves. We can say to Myanmar that we are a democratic country. We hope you follow the same path. Hey, you can learn from us. Now we can't really say that, right? That ability to bring about change, to talk about, to make sure other people respect us is missed. I think that is what I'm really sad about soft power.
I want to end this conversation in a softer note. What are lessons that you get from 2023?
Wow, 2023 was a big year for me in the sense that I finished my PhD after 9 years, right? I also learned a lot that life you can't really control. You try your best to prepare, but when the spotlight will shine on you, a lot of times you can't really control. For example, like my name was mentioned to the media without me being so ready for it, for example, right? That was not planned, that was not control. So trying to live with it, right? So that is something that you maximize the opportunities that come to you, but you have to be ready to take on those opportunities too. Yeah, so that's 2. 3, 2023 was the year I tried to institutionalize my late father's foundation. I'm running Surin Pisuwan Foundation. Not because, how do I put this? I do it because I hope to institutionalize the mission that he stood for. Not so much for him, but for me, so that I felt like there's someone that carry on that mission forward as an institution. So I am free to do other things after I institutionalize that, right? I work a lot on Myanmar issue now. I try to advocate for people to see human as human. Doesn't matter your races, your religions, your economic level, we're all humans. And I think Myanmar suffer a lot from prejudice among Thai people. So trying to advocate for that. There's many episodes talk about that on today. So things like that, right? I think I've been trying. 2023 was full of those explorations.
This is just to know some of your ideas. The show is called Aim Hour, and I had the idea that it should be called Aim Hour Thailich, because it's Singlish, right? Because I had that ambition for 2024 that this show gonna be a platform for all the Thai to go global. Just want to share that in case you have any ideas towards, because Thailich isn't the word that frequently used comparing to Singlish.
I think it's really okay to speak Thailish. I think the uniqueness of the accent is something that anyone should be proud of. I have known you for 14, 15 years now,
14
right?
years.
I've seen you went to study in the UK, but you still retain that Thainess in you, and I think that's really important, and I think everyone should be proud of it, right? When foreigners speak to you, when American or your British friends speak to you, and you have certain accent, it immediately signals to them that, hey, you have a very interesting background. Where are you from? Maybe you're from which country in Southeast Asia you're from, and I think that is really interesting. As long as you can communicate clearly, as long as you can communicate, and then people understand the point you try to get across, I think that is enough.
And last one question is a gimmick of this show. One question to ask me anything.
We saw you grow, right? From tweeting in the field. That's how you became first known in the Twitter world, right? Your journey, you have come a long way, right? You're now the editor-in-chief of Today. What are the lessons that you could give young people?
I think my journey is different to most of the young generation that I meet, because in my case, I actually never dream of who I am at this position when I am at my age. So my dream was small, but I was fortunate to meet so many people around me. But one thing I kept doing was I try my best and enjoy what I was doing. The reason that I said that, because most of the people, the young generation that I meet nowadays, they have a big dreams and they want to achieve very fast. So 2 cents from me was that at the end, you may need to find your foundation, what constitutes you, and let the natures and let the good habits of the world. For my age, I believe more that the world is kinder than what I feared 10 years ago. It's a lot more kinder. If you have a good intention, if your habit is good, it will attract good people, and these people will help you achieve that goal. But don't be too rush to achieve that goal. Also enjoy the journey, because so many people may achieve that goal, but they lose so many things along the way. So it's vice versa for me. You enjoy the path, the mean, and then the end will come. I hope that is something for them to learn is that first of all, be aware of yourself. That's important. A lot of them, if you think about it, a lot of the people that struggle with imposter syndrome, they are freshly graduate from BBA ธรรมศาสตร์ จุฬาธรรมศาสตร์ศิลปากร top university. So mathematically, they are top 5% in your generation. Hate it or love it or not. Most of the young generation who just want to be rebel. They just want to be like, no, we are like. But at the end, you need to aware that okay, we are fortunate. So you are aware that you have energy to conquer the world. So that is something that I hope be good for them.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I hope we have a good 2024. I know we're gonna come back and talk a lot more about several things, but I just wanna say Happy New Year and thank you for this hour.
Thank you very much.